Over the course of many years, several trilogies have come and gone, with classics becoming stale and losing their shine due to sequels. Sequels are not necessarily bad. In fact, I enjoy sequels because they allow creators to flesh out their ideas with well-established worlds. Most audiences get excited for sequels for the opportunity to see more of the adventures and feelings they had with their first outing. More scenes from your great actors of your past iterations, more exciting expanded lore, more advanced plots that utilize the years of storytelling influences that came after the original movie's creation. There's a host of reasons a sequel should be good, and for the most part, Men in Black does not fulfill the task of a good sequel. In short, Men in Black International is a hodgepodge of ideas with weak connective tissue to try and emulate the original movies, while misunderstanding what made the originals likable. Men in Black International tries to be a globe-trotting adventure that should appeal because its scope and notoriety to the prior original films. The aliens are back, but now we get a taste of how aliens and the secret organization that keeps aliens from the public eye works around the world. The worldly travels and the idea of traveling around the world is only used as a backdrop to show a beautiful sky view, then jump into a soundstage with CGI, since the areas visited are the same generic sets seen in your usual globe-trotting escapade. That works sometimes, but it doesn't work here. If you can insert some flair about the functions of other MIB International places, it might have worked even better. There's a bunch of CGI used to show technology that's extremely futuristic, much like the first movie, but the technology seems either too magic-like or too similar to technology that is possible for humans today. The first movie had a way of seasoning the anachronistic technology while keeping a grounded human element. The movie gives a bunch of head-scratching choices that are nitpicky, yet add up to making you second guess why this movie deserves to be made. There's a hint of a decent movie within the thin plot about a young girl discovering the secretive MIB organization and fixating on it till she's able to seek them down and join. The plot's premise on paper involves globetrotting to different locales and taking a strange case while fighting a new imposing threat. The world building of this magical yet tactile world should be enough to merit a watch. Somehow, with all the cards to play, MIB fumbles their aces by fumbling and stumbling around plots and themes with weak elements throughout. I cared about the young girl's silly yet fantasizing and the way she avoided a memory wipe from the agents on the onset of the film. A plot about how or why that shaped her personality has dropped since her adult life barely has any personality to cling to or root for besides the super fast introduction that she feels empty when not involved with this secret organization. The redeeming character played by Chris Hemsworth has little to work with, but squeezes everything he can to make his character somewhat interesting. He's charming and slapstick, like an incapable yet passable James Bond. The alien creatures are creative, but mostly used as set dressing for the plot. The aliens are fantastic, even if some look under-rendered as if they were sliding around on screen in a PlayStation 4 game. I commend the artists and their attention to detail in some practical costumes, since they don't fit a specific mold or look that an alien would be put on screen as in other movies. The MIB movies are more about the journey in this weird world of aliens and strange technology, so the limited usage of several different aliens to the main plot was fine. Throughout the movie, a sidekick-like character who looks like a mandated toy advertisement for shareholders is injected into the plot. He actually was funny and helps without seeming under or overpowered. His strange antics were off-putting due to how the body rendered around certain backgrounds. It was hard to accept that the actor was actually emoting to anything more than a green screen object. Luckily, the character just grew on me, and most should enjoy his interaction with the stars. He adds much needed spice since the main characters seem directionless and slaps all the energy out of other characters when she's in any scene as the main character. So it's lucky that this other little alien comes in to try to redeem the main character. It would be fine if her character was flawed or authoritative, but the character's personal persona seems sterile. Most of the movie progresses at a quick pace and jumps from one piece together point to another. Twists and turns are telegraphed. I noticed scenes seemed added and cut like a executive had several mandates on what was the most enticing to an audience today. A group of popular dancers were also aliens, and they decided to breakdance during the movie for some point, and it was fairly hand-waved as a reason behind why this scene needed to be injected into the film. Many effects like a gun that can shoot beams so strong that Grand Canyon-sized crevices are formed was used because it seemed like a cool scene. The cool scenes are in fact, well, cool, but also not conducive to the good story or any storytelling at all. It felt like the set pieces were never creative or choreographed enough to try to lure me as a straight popcorn shut your brain off movie, and they also were just injected into the plot in ways that just didn't feel as authentic. The plot was uninteresting and seemed to stop every chance to ensure I got less interested by wandering aimlessly into story arcs with tired villains and characters. The villains were only redeemable at the ending with a relatable reason for their actions. The villains, for the most part of the movie, do not talk, and as a result you felt left out on the focus of their actions, and you had to look at their body language and other character descriptions. All three attempts to flesh out the villains were poor. Characters barely know why the villains are bad. The villain characters are malleable for each situation, ranging from awkward to illuminant. Another part of the movie involves a fight reminiscent of other MIB movies, which ruined the enthusiasm for it. Yet another giant alien battle. Nothing is strong enough to recommend this movie, since your time could better be spent watching the abundance of alien sci-fi films today. Many callbacks work well, since they are subtle and just fun to see throughout the movie. The energy from Will Smith's performance in the first MIB isn't prominent here, but once in a while the movie has a joke or a spark of ingenuity to make me smile. There's just not enough in the movie to recommend seeing in theaters. If you already saw the prior MIB movies, you are better left skipping this one. You're not getting much satisfying expanded lore, and you're better off watching the old ones or the cartoon show for something more original and attention-grabbing. Don't be fooled by the charming cast who has had all their chemistry sucked out by the Thor Ragnarok movie. Skip this movie and wait for the next installment to try fix this movie's issues. 55%.